authors. Exercise 9, the deserts of China. They don't match the Sahara, but the deserts in China are expanding, so much so that shifting sands in one region are threatening to overtake an important railway, Veronica Pedrosa reports. Deserts cover more than a third of China, and environmentalists say they are growing at a rate of 2,100 square kilometers a year. For 30 years, however, one railway, in addition to shuttling passengers between Baotou City and Langzhou in northern China, has also served as a barrier to the southeastern tip of the Tengger Desert. The railway's main weapon is 50 kilometers of trees and shrubs that run alongside it. But researchers now fear these green belts have exhausted their water resources in some areas and could be buried by the sands of the Tengger in less than 20 years. What would happen if the trees and shrubs were not there? Says one observer. There isn't enough water to meet their needs, and now many of the plants are in danger of dying. Some have already died. Without the greenery, not only would the rail line be exposed to shifting sand dunes, but life along the railway would be unbearable. Desert windstorms can turn the sky black with sand, and desert windstorms can turn the sky black with sand, and desert heat can drive temperatures up to 74 degrees Celsius or 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Note, is there anything that should have been done 20 years ago to prevent the present water danger problems? Understandably, the people who live and work along the railway are concerned. They have observed 30 years ago, our Zongbao stretch of line was often hit by strong winds. As soon as winds blow, the sands would instantly bury the line. Note, being hit by the strong winds could cause a disaster to the railroad line. During the past 3 decades, the railway has also become a strategic lifeline, enabling farmers to grow more crops. In an effort to carve out an agricultural oasis, the farmers use straw grids to fix dunes in place and give plants a chance to grow. But unless something is done to reverse this apparent trend, all this greenery could someday be desert. Note, I hope that this sandy desert problem in China can be resolved soon. Veronica Pedrosa, CNN. Exercise 10. Listen attentively to the Proverbs and translate them into Ukrainian. State in what tense forms and moods the verbs in the Proverbs are. Note that explanations of these proverbs are given below in italics. 1. The best things in life are free. Explanation. We don't have to pay for the things that are really valuable, like love, friendship, and good health. 2. A stitch in time saves 9. Explanation. Repair something as soon as it is damaged. That's a small repair job. If not, you will have a much bigger and more expensive repair job later. Do it now and you'll need 1 stitch. Do it later and you'll need 9 stitches. Why 9 and not 8 or 10? Because 9 rhymes approximately with time. Stitch, noun, equals a link made with stitch, noun, equals a link made with thread in sewing. In time equals not late. 3. Still waters run deep. Explanation. Some rivers have rough surfaces with waves. That's usually because the water is shallow and there are rocks near the surface. But deep rivers have no rocks near the surface and the water is smooth and still. Still waters run deep means that people who are calm and tranquil on the outside often have a strong, deep personality. Still, adjective equals calm, motionless. Deep, adjective equals going far down. 4. He teaches ill who teaches all. Explanation. The unusual structure of this proverb may make it difficult to understand. It becomes easier if we change the structure to he who teaches all teaches ill. The word ill here means badly, so it means that the teacher who teaches students everything does not teach well. A good teacher lets students discover some things for themselves. Ill, adverb, equals badly. 5. You can't take it with you when you die. Explanation. When we die, we leave everything on earth. We don't take anything with us. Even the richest people cannot take their money with them after death. This proverb reminds us that some material things are not really as valuable as we think. This proverb reminds us that some material things are not really so valuable as we think. 6. Even a worm will turn. Everybody will revolt if driven too far. Even the lowest of people or animals will revolt and hit back at some stage. Even a worm, the simplest of animals, will defend itself. Worm, noun, a small thin animal with a soft body and no bones or legs. Turn, verb, to revolt, fight back. 7. It was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Explanation. There is a limit to everything. We can load the camel with lots of straw, but finally it will be too much and the camel's back will break. And it is only a single straw that breaks its back, the last straw. This can be applied to many things in life. People often say, "That's the last straw," when they will not accept any more of something. When they will not accept something anymore. Straw, noun, equals dried stalk of grain, like dry piece of grass. Camel, noun, large, long-necked animal used for riding and carrying goods in the desert. 8. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Explanation. Many women have won a man's love by cooking delicious meals for him. They fed his stomach and found love in his heart. Way, noun, equals path, route. 9. If the stone fall upon the egg, alas for the egg. If the egg fall upon the stone, alas for the egg. Explanation. Life just isn't fair, and this realistic Arabic proverb recognizes that. The stone will always break the egg. Life's like that. Alas equals bad luck, pity, tough, regrettable. 10. Where there's a will, there's a way. Explanation. If we have the determination to do something, we can always find the path or method to do it. Will, noun, equals strong determination, desire. Way, noun, equals path, method. 11. If you wish good advice, consult an old man. Explanation. Old people have a lot of experience. If you want to have good advice or recommendations, ask an old person, not a young one. If you want to have good advice or recommendations, ask an old person, not a young one. Wish, verb, equals want, desire. Advice, noun, equals recommendation as to what to do. Consult, verb, equals ask, go for advice or information. 12. All clouds bring not rain. We can rephrase this. Not every cloud brings rain, and that's true. Sometimes there are many clouds in the sky, but it doesn't rain. Sometimes it's the same with problems, or what we think are problems. 13. Bad news travels fast. Bad news means news about bad things like accidents, death, illness, etc. People tend to tell this type of news quickly. But good news, passing an exam, winning some money, getting a job, etc., travels more slowly. 14. No news is good news. This is like the proverb, bad news travels fast. If we are waiting for news about someone, it's probably good if we hear nothing, because bad news would arrive quickly. 15. Birds of a feather flock together. Explanation. Birds of a feather means birds of the same type. The whole proverb means that people of the same type or sort stay together. They don't mix with people of another type. Feather, noun, equals part of the soft, light covering of a bird's body. Equals part of the soft, light covering of a bird's body. Flock, verb, equals gather in a crowd. 16. Tell me who you go with, and I'll tell you who you are. Similar to birds of a feather, this proverb suggests that like minds stick together. Exercise 11. Listen to the following text and fulfill the following assignments. The Scholarship from Green Years by A.J. Cronin. Robert Shannon will be able to continue his studies only if he gets the scholarship founded by Sir John Marshall, but his best friend Gavin becomes his rival. It was the first day of the Easter holidays. I was going fishing with Gavin. The last pleasure I allowed myself before beginning to prepare for the Marshall. We met early in the morning. Gavin was waiting for me. Impossible to describe the silent joy of our meeting. We walked side by side through the quiet village to the lake. No fishing until evening, I am afraid, Gavin murmured. No wind, and the day is too bright. Until the sun went down, Gavin and I sat on an upturned boat outside his father's fishing hut. We spoke very little. At 7 o'clock, after Mrs. Glenn, the woman of the at 7 o'clock, after Mrs. Glenn, the woman of the cottage, had given us some tea and boiled eggs and milk, we pushed the boat into the water. I took the oars. When we were far from the shore, Gavin spoke, hidden by the growing darkness. I understand you are sitting the Marshall, Robbie. I was greatly surprised. Yes, how did you know? Mrs. Keith told my sister. Gavin paused, breathing heavily. I am trying for it too. I looked at him in silence. I was shocked and confused. But, Gavin, you do not need the money. Gavin frowned. You'll be surprised. He spoke slowly. My father has had trouble in the business. He paused. He has done so much for me. Now then, he is worried. I would like to do something for him. Again, he paused. He has done so much for me. Now that he is worried, I would like to do something for him. I was silent. I knew that Gavin adored his father, and I had heard whispers that all was not well with the mayor's business. Yet his words came as an unexpected blow. All the cleverest boys in the country are competing, he continued. All the cleverest boys in the county are competing, he continued. One more won't make much difference. Besides, there is the honour of the town. It is 12 years since a Levenford boy took the scholarship. He drew a deep breath. One of us must win it. You may be the one, Gavin, I said in a low voice. I knew he was a fine scholar. Gavin replied slowly, I would like to win for my father's sake, but I think you have a better chance. He paused. If you win, will you go on to be a doctor? Gavin was the only person on earth to whom I could tell the truth. I said, I wish with all my heart to be a medical biologist. You know, a doctor who does research. There was a long pause. Yes, Gavin said thoughtfully. It is bad that we have to fight each other over the scholarship, but it will not affect our friendship, of course. Yet, I felt a sudden sadness in my heart. I thought, Gavin and I, one of us must be defeated. Notes on the text: rival,
конкурент,
scholarship,
стипендия,
Easter holidays,
пасхальные каникулы,
oars,
весла,
to sit the marshal.
сдавать экзамены на стипендию маршала.
Assignments on the text. Assignment 1. Find English equivalents of the following words and word combinations in the text. Say them in pauses and then check it. Make up sentences of your own with these expressions.
Молчаливая радость. Шли рядом. Перевернутая лодка. Столкнули в воду. Сдавать экзамен нам. Тяжело дыша. Обожал отца.
Здравствуйте, мы никуда не едем.
Николай. Обожал отца. До меня дошли слухи. Глубоко вздохнул. Прекрасный ученик. Единственный на свете. Это не помешает нашей дружбе.
Assignment 2. Give Ukrainian equivalents of the following words, word combinations and expressions from the text. Make up 3 sentences with each of them. Listen to the cassette and check your answers. To prepare for something.
Готовиться к чему-либо.
To be greatly surprised.
Быть очень удивленным.
In silence.
Тихо.
To be confused.
Быть в недоумении.
To compete in something.
Бороться за что-либо в каком-то конкурсе.
For somebody's sake.
Ради кого-либо.
To do research.
Заниматься исследованиями.
To be defeated.
Быть побежденным.
Assignment 3. Listen to the cassette. Answer the following questions. 1. Who was Robbie? Robbie was. 2. What did he want to become? Robbie wanted to become a. 3. Why couldn't he study without the scholarship? 4. What shows that he was seriously preparing for the exams? 5. What did Gavin tell Robbie about? 6. Why was the boy shocked and confused? 7. What was the reason for Gavin's sitting the marshal? 8. Which words prove the generosity of both boys?